So a very warm welcome from me. My name is Mats Kuuskemaa. I'm country manager for Germany and German-speaking countries for our e-Residency. And this is our first ever webinar on HR topics. So really, really nice to welcome you. It's good to see that there's a fair bit of interest from e-resident community on this topic. If you'd like to say hello, feel free to write in the chat tab, where you're based, maybe also if you have a specific interest in the HR topics. So for example, you want to hire a certain role or certain sector, feel free to mention that as well in the chat part. We will organize our webinar so that we'll do the first quick presentations, all four of us. And afterwards, we will have ample time for Q&A part. So if you have clear questions, please write them in the Q&A part and we will sort of take it all as part of discussion after the presentation. So this is the best way to whether we can make this work. This webinar is also recorded, so it will be later on our YouTube channel. If some of you want to watch it later, you can access it as well. All the special offers that we have from our partners that I'll mention, they'll also be available later on. But I'd like to quickly introduce our speakers here. So we have Indrek Harjak, who is head of sales at CV.ee and Alma Careers. So this is one of Estonia's top HR companies. They have their portal is #1 in Estonia as well, and they operate in a number of countries. We have Liisi Niisuke from Brandem, which is a very unique sort of employer branding and also HR company. So they have very strong to-do attitude as well. Very good to have you, Liisi, here as well. And we have Jose Ernesto Suarez Font, who is founder of Glassity, which is a very cool startup that helps you with cloud computing. So if you need to get better access to put your data in cloud, their services might be really relevant for you. So Jose, thank you for joining us. And Jose can actually tell us how it's really like being an employer, directly coming to Estonia, making things work there. So really happy about this. Just to comment that if some of you are more interested in, because hiring can be misleading, if you're looking for a job in Estonia, this is not exactly webinar for you, but what you can, services that you can access is Work in Estonia. So we have a partner organization in Estonia. They have a great job portal and they have a lot of information on this topic. So you can access their database and services. I would encourage you to do that. I will quickly show you a couple of slides before we hit off with our main speakers here today. From our behalf, just maybe key aspects of why Estonia is a good place to hire people. So we recently developed one page also on hiring topics. We will share this also with you later on. First of all, is that in Estonia you can manage hiring process and also the bureaucracy in English. You don't have to worry about any language problems there. You can do it fully online without being in Estonia, visiting Estonia, just like having an e-residency company. So actually being an employer here is as easy as being a company owner. And thirdly, flexibility. We live in a global economy that is constantly fluctuating, that you don't know what crisis comes up next. Companies need to grow and downsize very fast sometimes. And what we saw with COVID crisis is that some Estonian startups had to let go of a lot of people. And this is something that is relatively easy in Estonia. For example, Starship, this is an Estonian startup that has this very cool white packaging robots that operate in various countries and might be our next unicorn, by the way. So that's, for example, at the start of COVID crisis, they let around 100 people go and they rehired them, most of them in 3 or 4 months time. So in a lot of countries, such companies would have gone down because there isn't flexibility always with hiring and also letting people go. So this is one of Estonia's benefits, that we try to have this flexibility for employers. And lastly, of course, it's an EU, you will be an EU single market, if you maybe can operate much more easily there. And tax, I will share you very quickly why tax is an important point. And if you look at cross-border taxation, all the treaties that exist between countries, the core thing there is that if you have a company abroad, but you don't have any substance there, you don't have any employees or office or director there, then you always have a risk that might happen that your company needs to be taxed actually locally where you stay, where the directors stay. So to avoid that is, of course, the easiest solution is to have employees in Estonia, and particularly a role of director. So this is an important thing to know, to bear in mind, and also, but needless to say that not less important is that you will get more benefit from Estonia. You wanted to collaborate with Estonian government or companies or grow there, use this our startup ecosystem to grow. It's really good to have a stronger base there. So it's not all about tax. What we try to do at e-Residency in general, we try to focus a little bit more on the growth side of our companies, because we have around more than 30,000 e-resident companies already. And the creating a company is all very easy, but what about the growth part? This is something that we've heard a lot from our founders. So two things that we're trying to do. One is to help founders to connect more with startup ecosystem, with accelerators, to benefit more out of it. And the second area where we want to go is to make sort of HR a little bit easier. So if some of you want to hire people, where do you go? Where do you get the right support? That it's easier, clearer what needs to be done to be successful there. So one of the first things that we did, we collected offers, sort of special deals from some of our partners. So CV.ee, of course, Indrek will introduce later, but they, for example, offer a free job advert. I think that normally costs around maybe up to 300 euros. It's a very valuable package for e-residents. So you can put a free advert up. That's very valuable. Brandem is offering a 3-hour consulting service in sort of Estonia's labor employment laws. They, of course, and Move My Talent has a significant reduction on sort of relocation consulting. So these are all, I would say, valuable services. But of course, if you contact these companies, then please also have a clear agenda there, because they're looking for people who are interested, of course, in their services later on. That's how we can keep this going. On some other topics, we also have an offer from Lift 99 that I think is minus 20% on the services. They also can have a free day. You can join that hub. They're a really active community hub in Tallinn. So really good place where to connect with other founders. Workland, that has a lot of office space, has some reduction on the services. Similarly, Põhjala, which is a really cool event space, also event and office space in North Tallinn. And if you're in warehousing and logistics, where also tax-wise sometimes good to use Estonia partly, there's also a special service from Boomerang Distribution for e-resident companies. But this is broadly from me. If some of you later on want to connect with me, give me feedback. Let's imagine you need more support on, you're not sure about HR things, you need some more connections with different services, companies. Feel free to reach out to me. This is my calendar link. There's also, you can write me on LinkedIn or send me an email, of course. But I will shut up here and I will introduce our next speaker, who is Indrek Harjak from CV.ee. Indrek, thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me, Mats. And I'm actually really excited to be presenting today with our great co-host or co-panelist as well. And I'll share my screen with you shortly, and just let me know if everything is fine and you can see everything well. Yeah? Everything good? Great. All right, so today I'll try to give you a broad overview of what has been happening in Estonia recently, and why it's really, I would say, a good time to start hiring in Estonia. But just so you know who I am myself, or who I'm actually representing is Alma Career. Now, I'm better known, or we're better known in Estonia as CV Online or CV.ee. We're one of the biggest job portals in Estonia, really. But that's not only who we are. We're actually a bigger network of similar companies or job boards across Europe. So if you're really looking to hire people in Europe, especially in the eastern side or maybe in the Balkans, and then definitely you can hit me up, and we can see if we can figure something out. But we have 27 years of experience, of course, in Estonia as well. And today we're gonna go into Estonia a little bit more, and we're well, not really, or as you know, we're probably that we're quite a small country in ourselves. But recently, I would say a lot of options have been opening up for new companies to enter the market. And I do know that since talking to, I would say even daily with different companies, that they are looking to kind of maybe enter the job market in Estonia, or start really recruiting maybe a little bit more broadly. But CV Online, or even or Alma Careers Estonia really is really a part of 3 or 4 different brands that we represent in Estonia. So our main portal is CV.ee. Be sure to look it up if you haven't found us yet. There's a lot of different job ads there. But if you're a company and or a startup and you're looking to kind of start hiring in Estonia, be sure to let us know, and we always have interesting offers, and we can kind of share our know-how on how we do things. And so to get into the things a little bit, so I would say that right now it's actually quite a great time to start recruitment. So what I wanted to show you here is how the vacancies, the number of vacancies versus the unemployment rate has developed throughout the years. So coming from COVID years, 2021 was actually quite a explosive year, I would say, in job ad numbers. As you can see, it kind of rose quickly from close to 3,000 job ads, close to 9,000 at some point in the second half of the year. It's always a little bit of seasonal, as recruitment is. And as the job ads go up, of course, the unemployment goes down a little bit. And so 2021, the ending of 2021 and 2022 were quite, I would say, high number of job ads. And at the same time, the unemployment rate was down. So it was actually quite difficult maybe to find the right talent. And the only option you had back then, or one of the only options if you're really looking for, the top talent, was to kind of make them a better offer. But now when things have developed, our job ad numbers have dropped again. And as you can see in 2020, just before the beginning of 2024, it was I would say the bottom of the number of job ads that we've had in Estonia. So these statistics, by the way, are from the Estonian unemployment office, or unemployment office, as you can say. And they're kind of keeping track of all these numbers as well. It's public data. You can look it up yourself as well. But right now, what's happening is that we're coming close together again, or coming close to this cross. You can see this in late 2021. And then you can see a cross here in late 2022, when kind of things flipped a little bit. And I really don't know, or can't say yet, if this is really happening again, if maybe job ad numbers crossed the unemployment rate. But we came close to this in 2023 at the same time as well. So there's a little bit of a seasonal factor in this. But right now, I would say that there's lots of talent available. There's the application numbers that we can see are significantly up compared to a year or maybe even 2 ago. It's really a significant difference. And I would say that it's a great time right now to be hiring. But what else? So many maybe people from outside of Estonia don't really have an overview, or maybe just kind of the idea of what's why even recruit in Estonia. And I'm glad Mats already kind of mentioned that we do have quite a nice language proficiency. So 86% of the people speak at least one foreign language. And in my experience, English is usually the language that they speak. The older generation is maybe more towards Russian, but all the younger generation, I would say, I don't know, maybe I'm hurting someone's feelings here, but from like 45 or 50 and maybe younger are almost everybody is speaking English, and I would say at the necessary level to be working in this language. I kind of pulled out this Eurostat statistics from 2023, comparing hourly labor costs. And although wages have been rising significantly in Estonia in the recent years because of the high demand in the market for quality labor force, it's still comparatively low labor costs compared to other European countries, especially in the Nordics and in Western Europe. I would say that it's quite easy and flexible, the hiring process as well, because it's I would say not a big deal to be changing employers in Estonia. So the days have gone where you you work for a single company for 20, 30 years. I rarely see that nowadays. It's usually either 3 or 5 years is the usual time a person works for a single company, and then they usually move on. And this is also because it's easy and flexible to be hiring, but also because of the redundancy processes or regulations are also quite simple. If there's always sometimes there's a need that you hire people and it doesn't work out for one reason or another. So it's not really difficult to kind of send the people on their way. And by the way, if you have any questions in the meanwhile, any specifics, be sure to kind of let me know, and later on I can go over and maybe kind of answer some of the questions as well. So if any questions arise at all, just write it in the chat box. And I think Liisi will also go into this a little bit more in detail, but there's a lot of great options if you need help with either the legislation or bookkeeping or a hiring process. I think it's quite easy to find either freelancers or partners who are specialized in this field to kind of help smaller companies do these things, especially when everything is digitalized as well. And sometimes a lot of companies ask me, like, Indrek, what are the jobs that most candidates are looking for, or how many candidates I can be expecting with a certain job ad? So I kind of compiled the top 5 most popular or most sought after fields for work that candidates are looking for. And number 1 is marketing, really. I think there's a lot of great marketing talent available right now. Not long ago, we hired ourselves in Alma Careers Estonia. We hired a new marketing person. It was actually quite a tight competition for this position. And we had actually a nice share of great candidates to choose from. So I would say that definitely right now, at least, and well, in the past as well, marketing has been one of the more popular categories that you can find great employees. Of course, HR right now as well, if you're looking to kind of find a person who would be responsible for people or for hiring, so recruiters or maybe HR partners, I think these people are maybe a little bit more available right now since it has been like down years in the economy in the past couple of years. So maybe some of them have been let go, but be sure that soon enough these people will find a job. So I would maybe jump on them really as soon as possible.
Sorry to disturb for a moment. I just wanted to say to the panelists, to everyone, that please write your questions in the Q&A tab, because there's going to be a lot of questions later on. Then we can make sure we can answer all of them. So please write in the Q&A tab the questions. Thank you.
Right. So the Q&A tab there. Okay. And yeah, I would say finance, administration, and IT are all fairly popular categories where people search for work. I would say the IT category especially, I've seen an increase or actually a decrease in the job ads since there has been redundancies in the past years. So there's available talent. And also in our company right now as well, in Alma Career, we for Estonia, we recruited a new IT team just recently. We hired actually 4 new people. And I can say that it was not an easy process, again, because of the sheer number of candidates and the great talent available. So we were quite picky then, but still it was not an easy choice. So I would say there's great IT talent right now available as well. Honorable mentions, just sales and management. They're kind of just behind these categories. I can say, since sales is mainly my area of expertise, I do find or see that there's a good number of great talent available right now. All right, but when you started hiring, sometimes also companies ask me that, what should I be focusing on? Like how can I get these people on board, or the best people on board? So we make this annual survey, or conduct this annual survey, where we can ask our users what are the most important things when they choose an employer. And these are the top 6, I would say, criteria that candidates are really looking for, or what they deem most important. So of course, salary, you can't get past this, I guess, but good salary or motivating salary is number 1. I would say that it depends what is motivating really. It's not really clear, but I can say that you probably will be spending anyways less than maybe in some of the other countries that you'd be, if you'd be recruiting in maybe the Nordics, for example, then you'd be paying them more anyway. So this is Google Translate. So the second one is not good indoor climate, but it's meant good interior climate. So pretty much like that you get along with the people and the management, and that everybody it's good team spirit and so on. So this is kind of important as well. And in recent years that we've conducted this survey, I've seen this kind of rising in importance for people, among other things, of course. But this has been significantly, I'm seeing this rise. Good results are noticed and recognized, of course, makes sense. They want to get maybe some bonuses, pat on the back, some good words from their management. So that is important, of course, for everybody. And it's kind of brought out here specifically. Employees are treated equally and fairly as well. So there's recently actually a survey conducted that there's a pay gap between men and women in Estonia, maybe a little bit bigger in the EU than in some other countries. So a lot of employees felt that this is kind of an important topic for them as well. And of course, work-life balance and flexible work. Now that past or after COVID times, I would say that this is one of the things that have come up really significantly as well, that you have maybe the home office options or remote work from somewhere else. So these are important for candidates now as well, more important than before, really. I can say from my own experience. Yeah, moving on. In the past, we've helped grow different startups from their beginnings, or humble or small beginnings, to kind of, well, one of the biggest companies in Estonia. So we have helped some companies grow to unicorns. So I'm thinking, like, who is next? And I'm hoping that maybe some of you will be able to kind of grow as big as Bolt or Wise or Playtech. And just to finish up, so in cooperation with e-Residency, we put together this package for you to kind of start your hiring journey in Estonia. So this it's a starter package. Mats mentioned this briefly as well. It's one job ad for up to 1 month and the CV.ee portal. And you can also get access to our CV database, and you can look at 50 CVs. I can tell you that this is free for you as an e-Residency starter package. In actuality, it's 350 euros. But you also get this free recruitment consultation with one of our specialists. If you have plans or thinking of maybe, you don't know maybe yet or not sure if you want to start hiring, of course, we can give our 2 cents, give our kind of ideas, some solutions, what could work for you. So be sure to let either me know or write any in our channels. You can write me in LinkedIn or write in the chat in our homepage. Either way is fine. It will probably end up or some way end up on my table anyway. So you can always write to me. No problem at all. All right.
Indrek, thank you very much for this. It was a great overview of Estonia's labor environment and place to hiring. So thanks for this. We have a lot of specific questions already, but maybe we can actually take, because Thomas raised his hand. Maybe we could take that quickly. Can't see that. Maybe, yeah, let's pass this on to Liisi then with Brandem, because you have very much like boutique services that you deal with. It would be also interesting to hear more about actually how your company can support e-residents as well. So thank you.
Yes, hello from my side as well, and thank you very much for the introduction. Indrek, thank you for the quick overview. Was extremely helpful for me as well, and I believe that the numbers speak for themselves about what is the current situation on Estonian market. So I will try to cover a bit more on the individual side, meaning what can you personally do if you're trying to or thinking about hiring here in Estonia. And if you have any questions, as Mats said, to Q&A part, and we will try to answer them afterwards. And so I will start sharing my screen. Just a second. Yes, everything okay? Cool, very good. So as I was introduced, my name is Liisi Niisuke, and I'm from recruitment and employer branding agency called Brandem. And a few words about myself as well. I have been over 10 years in the HR field in general. In Brandem specifically, I have done personally 150 projects and more. I have been in different roles during my career, so have a quite good insight regarding the different views. Let's say so. Also in private sector, public sector, NGO. So we'll try to give you a brief overview. And a bit about Brandem as well. I have been on the market over 10 years. We do employer branding, we do employee service, recruitment, HR consultancy. I saw someone popped a question regarding where you can see different talent. So we have also a talent pool. Talent pool consists of resumes of people who are looking for a job or are open on the market, as well as we have had really different projects. So if people send out their resumes and they want to be considered for the next hiring process as well, then they leave their data in our talent pool. So from our website, you can also add your data to our talent pool, or just get in touch to get an access to the talent pool. We do all kinds of fields, starting from IT, technology, to retail, wholesale. Also, we have helped several startups, food industry. So for us, it doesn't matter which field are you in, but the most important part is how to put yourself out there so that it would be as a reliable company, and the process would be transparent for the people who are coming to you for work. So maybe the main thing we always say is that recruitment nowadays, it's like sales and marketing. You sell your company so that you would have the best talents who would like to come and work for you. In order to do that, of course, marketing always supports sale. So you have to be quite honest and transparent about what will be expecting the candidates when they come and work for you. A few key points maybe to take away from here is dare to be different, meaning that if you put up an ad and say, I have competitive salary and great working environment, then you can open the CV.ee portal and see that almost every employer says the same thing. So it's not what makes you different if you say that you have a competitive salary. You can easily use your own words and describe the situation, what it is for you, you're only starting, etc., etc. So just a bit twist, and you can already differ, and people will look at your ads already on a different level. Point out your strengths. Definitely you have them. Just think it through for yourself firstly, that what are those key points why a person should come and work for you. No cliches. As I said, competitive salary, we have nice people, etc. Well, we can open the portals and see those words, which usually mean nothing. So try to think a little bit out of the box when you're selling your company, so that the people would like to come and work for you. And that leads us to definitely why a person should come and want to work for you. Think it through for yourself. And if you will not be able, I don't know, formulate it nicely enough, or you need any assistance, any help, Brandem is exactly for that. Just hit us up, and we can easily think it through together, so that the result of recruitment would be what you expect. Few points why to hire in Estonia. We are not only an IT country, as it's widely known. Of course, this is our strength as well. But as Indrek already said, we have a lot of people who actually speak one foreign language as well. And from my experience, I can tell you that I have hired from Estonia to Finnish companies, to Swedish companies, to Norwegian companies. And we have hired people who actually live here, speak English and Finnish or Sweden or Norwegian. So it is not that rare that people who actually live here do speak other languages as well. So this is definitely a benefit. And since they're living here, they are already accommodated to the economic side and to the labor market, and they know what's going on in here. So I think it's a good possibility to have someone here on the spot who is from your own cultural background, but knows exactly what's going on in here as well. Again, as Indrek said, timing is everything. It is really good time to hire. Selection of resumes would be really acceptable amount, because the labor market situation is quite weird. And well, not at the moment weird, but since we had COVID, after that we had Ukrainian war, so it has all left a mark, and it's quite bumpy road now as well. Because from one side we're talking that we have quite a lot of people on the market available. From the other side, sometimes we're seeing that we lack of really good specialists. For example, in construction, let's say architects, etc., constructors. So it's a bit shaky at the moment as well. But definitely a good time to see what's going on with the talent pool, and the resumes that you would receive would be probably quite a good amount and quite good quality as well. Simplicity. We have quite easy and clear legislation considering other countries, and even easier access to different samples, drafts, etc. So it would not be too difficult to actually go through the hiring process here, even if you haven't done it before. And the consulting companies as well. I mean, for example, for documentation, we have startup called Avocado. For quite small amount of money, you can easily get a consult regarding the different contracts or documentation. And of course, the bookkeeping part, it's not too tricky or too difficult. And if you cannot do it yourself, then there's a lot of freelance or small companies that definitely will help you out. As Mats mentioned in the beginning, co-working spaces, it's quite a good opportunity to use because it means you don't have to have a permanent office here all the time. For example, if you're starting just your business, maybe you'll hire 1 or 2 people in the beginning. There's no point in having permanent office for them with high rents and this part. So it's really easy to have just a co-working space, the different seminar rooms, etc. Of course, again, booked online. You don't have to be on the spot somewhere, and they have all the technical part, all the I don't know, coffees, waters, and everything what an office might need. So definitely a good opportunity. Flexible working, of course, hybrid working has come here to stay. Working from home, from summer house, from another side of the world, if you wish, it is quite common that people are used to it, and they're looking at in employers as well. People in Estonia are really reliable, and I can say they have a great skill set, and as already mentioned, the language knowledge as well. So if we maybe compare to southern part of Europe, then I can say that things in Estonia are happening, let's say maybe more accurate, more quickly, and more punctuality is here what we are actually keeping in mind. And Mats mentioned the director positions in the beginning as well. Well, my message to you would be when hiring that make the difference between the positions in which you're hiring, because when you're naming the vacancy, it is important that the position itself reflects on what person actually has to do and will be doing during the employment. And as well, I wanted to mention that there are so many different generations in the labor market at the moment. So it's really crucial for them, for younger generations, that the position name actually would give on the job that they're doing. So it doesn't matter to them that you're called a director and you can put it on your visit card or something. For them, it's important really the job itself. So this is one thing also to keep in mind when naming the positions when you're hiring. Directors, country managers, head of departments, they can all mean same thing here, but again, the most important part is the job that they will be doing. Because why we should name someone, I don't know, manager or team manager if they even don't have any members on their team? It just gives you the wrong perception about what your future job will be like. Of course, if we're talking about country manager and he's here alone and he's responsible for the whole country part, then it's another thing. But again, if you need any help with that, we can easily help you out. And this is a crucial when hiring, definitely. And all in all, if you want to be successful in your recruitment process, then definitely clear, transparent, and honest communication when hiring, when advertising. This is the key, because there's no point in promising very much when you can actually offer very little. So that it is really important to understand what your target group needs, what they want, what is really important to them, and according to that, already put up your ads and build up your recruitment process. And yes, add me on LinkedIn as well. Let's get in touch if you need any help, any assistance. And Brandem has put out a 1 hour free consultation as well about Estonian workforce, about labor market, about any questions you might have if you want to enter the recruitment process from your side. We will be definitely here to help you out.
Liisi,
And yes, if any questions, then we will get to them later, Mats, as I understand.
Absolutely. And Liisi, this was very educating. Thank you. Thank you for this presentation also. I will remember that the creativity is the key. And I think for the listeners, it was very good that you also stressed that Estonians are very honest, sometimes very direct in a way, but this is really good to mean what you mean in Estonian culture room. But finally, we're getting to Jose Ernesto. Well, thank you for being here. And Jose can tell you how it's really like, because he's moved to Estonia, spent a lot of time there, build a business there, hired people there, build a startup there. So you can tell us whether we're all fraudulent salespeople or what parts you agree with and what is your personal experience. So thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Mats, for having me here. And yes, I'm going to tell this my personal experience. And for that, I made a very risky choice. It's not having any slides, because I really think that having like one-to-one with all of you and telling my personal experience, I will like not to get distracted by fancy emojis or other things that I usually use in my slides. My personal experience is in the IT world. I'm a system engineer. I'm originally from Spain, from Valencia. I've been working for the Spanish government, for the United Nations. I've been working for corporate as well. And well, somehow I discovered the e-Residence program, and I decided to start my own business in Estonia after checking like multiple countries around the rest of the Europe. And my experience is going to be related with that. IT, because I'm an IT mindset person. First, I start with the small business here in Estonia and hire until 6 people was the team that they had when I had a consultancy company. And then finally startup. And well, in the startup world, things go so much faster. We start Glassity is my startup 1 year and a half ago. Well, still not, but almost 1 year and a half. We are now 14 people. I think it's been like a super interesting growth. Then I'm going to clarify just different points why I think that Estonian is very convenient for hiring people. Some of them already my colleagues here in the panel already mentioned, but one is about hiring and finding talent in Estonia. First, at the beginning for me, coming from a country with 40 million people, was a little bit challenging. It's like I'm going to find people available there, and also with these super low rates of unemployment. But actually, the reality was different. It was really easy to find talented people. That is the interesting part. It's not about how much people, but about the quality of the people that you are hiring. With that, I've been always super lucky because I found really talented people, not only in the IT field, but also marketing is a specialty where the people is very talented at. And they were actually easy to reach. We usually frequent same places. I never use any tool. Was easy enough to connect with the people around and finding like talent around. Then when you as an Estonian entrepreneur finding talent abroad, there is no difference. You can just go or put in LinkedIn or using CV.ee or any other platform. But people get attracted because somehow a lot of people heard about the stories about the digital nation, how we are doing, people interested in the startup, and they're eager to work with the Estonian company, and be part of what is happening here. Had been always something positive mentioning, from where I'm from now, and what we are doing. Then there is other aspects also to consider. The legal part is always important, as an entrepreneur. And I will say that Estonia have a very good framework to hiring people. From the legal perspective, I cannot compare worldwide because I don't have enough information. I just can compare with Spain, that is the country where I was hiring before. And actually, the framework is completely different. Here is it's really flexible, it's really competitive, and sometimes in a startup you need to hire fast, but also you need to be ready to fire fast. And this framework also protects you as an entrepreneur, and in case to not having a good match, you have always the option, no, to find for someone else. Then we have another point that is from the bureaucracy point of view. I'm not a paper person. I don't like so much the paperwork, and well, from there is very few words to say because at least probably everybody here knows that Estonia is a bureaucratic heaven. No, there is no. I mean, I had several companies in Estonia. I'm already 5 years. I never brought a single paper anywhere. I never meet with anyone that give me a physical paper for anything. This is very convenient because when I was having this consultancy company and I was moving abroad, I can be hiring being anywhere. This don't bring me any headache of, oh, I need to go to notary, or I need to bring this to Maviat Cooper, or I need to go to this public worker and bring some paper. No, this doesn't happen, and this is very convenient that I can do it anywhere, and most important, I can do it by my own because it's really simple. The process it's like it's very clear. You have these governmental pages. You have few clicks to go through, and as soon you hire like one person, for the second will be even easier, no, because you already know where the magic button is. Then we have another point is like tax wise. Well, that's why I will say that it's convenient. I only can compare with Spain, but I will say that it's not the strongest point because it's very alike to most of the southern countries in Spain of Europe. If you compare with other countries, more from the mid Europe or Northern Europe, I guess it's really competitive. But well, for me, the point that I can say from tax perspective in Estonia is that my obligations are pretty clear and very easy to follow. I know what I need to do every month. I know that I just transfer to my employees what is the net salary, and the rest I take care of that. It's really simple, and I don't have a special. It's not, for example, calculating the payroll is really simple. I remember when I was doing payroll in Spain, well, I need to have a specific course how I need to prepare a payroll because actually a nightmare to prepare that, and you ended hiring someone, no, that prepare all that for you. And then I can go more about talking specifics about the startup point of view of hiring people. And there is things that they really like here in Estonia is about the startup ecosystem, how strong it is, how the people is educated. Then I can bring my experience about hiring people from a startup or for a startup. No, everybody understand how is a startup working. Then the people is eager to go and give everything, no, for the business that you're starting. The people have this mindset. You don't need to ask about extra effort. The people are ready to give it because they know where they are. They are not working in a corporate. They are working in a startup, no? Also, the people is very well educated with the option packages or with other benefits that we give to employees. Actually, from my startup, we give 10% of the total valuation of our company in option packages for the people. And this is a real good instrument. It's a very good instrument because when you are starting, help you to find the good talent even if you still don't have money enough to be competitive. No, you have limited resources, but you can rely, no, in what you believe that we are going to build. The people understand the risk and take it because they are eager to take the risk, and this, at least for me, helped me to create a really good team of 14 people, really talented people, and all of them I meet alone, actually in one of the places that Mats mentioned. We are located in this co-working space named Leaf 99, and around there, like a lot of digital nomads, entrepreneurs, or just people interested in startups are around, and has been very easy to find the right people. Then first thing is like how they're educated about the business that we're running, and second, being aligned with the culture that we are bringing, and third is the skill level of these people. I mean, my team, I would say like 60% of my team is Estonian, and these people have a really good education. It's not, I mean, English is out of question. I never felt any issue speaking with anyone. Actually, I'm probably the person in my team that they speak like the worst English, because in Spain we don't have this education, and well, with time it's difficult later when you are grown up to get the proficiency, no? But my team, I mean, some of them I will say that they are native speakers because they are, well, some of them are, but but the rest, the Estonian one, I will say they are. Then the people is very skilled, very well educated, with great mindset. Then at the end, this is the important for me as an entrepreneur when I'm hiring people. Ensure that I'm going to have the right person, that I don't need to take any measure, that everybody is getting responsible, and this is a very good thing because this allows you to create also a very nice team culture inside. No, you can rely on them, and you if you want, you it's not needed to have a specific schedule. Hey guys, let's go here at 8 a.m. Everybody in the office. I mean, you can be more flexible and you get the results. Is very good. Also, I can talk about hiring locally in Estonia. There is something that is also very convenient because when you start to look around, happen very often that the people is very willing to collaborate with your companies and as a freelancers. Almost everyone in Estonia I felt that have a company. This was very surprising for me, and this sometimes is convenient because maybe you are not sure is if this position you will need it for long. Maybe it's going to be a short period. Maybe this person, you don't need to spend 40 hours with this person. Maybe 20 hours or 10 hours will be enough. Then this flexibility that the system gives to you to hiring people is really convenient, and we can move fast. And well, this also can be extended outside Estonia. I have this experience hiring people in Spain, and and people in Spain becoming new resident for being able to work with us as a Estonian company, no, because it was more interesting for them than just being like a Spanish autonomo or with other legal figures to collaborate. At the end, I can say that the experience has been very positive. I feel safe doing all this paperwork and all this legal stuff. That is not my strong point, and has been easy. Then I can say that this very good experience, and I will encourage the people that is looking places to run the business like really doing in Estonia, because you will have a good opportunity finding their super nice talent and build very important or impactful things from here.
Fantastic, Jose, Ernesto. Thank you for like this really hands-on overview, and it's really nice to see that your business is growing in Estonia. That you've made use of this. We have a lot of questions. Just so you know, we have a soft ending for this webinar. So anyone who has a little bit more time to stay, we're happy to keep it open for, let's say, extra 20 minutes. But we will also put the recording to YouTube later. So if some of you need to run at some point, you can check the ending on YouTube later. There was one question that I wanted to actually share a slide, because there was questions about general salaries in Estonia. And for this, I hope you all see this slide for a moment. Statistics Board has quite nicely put different salaries for different roles out there. So I'm just sharing this ad hoc. Also, there was a question from someone about accounting companies in Estonia. That can you find an accounting company in Estonia. For this, please check out e-Residency Marketplace. So this is the good place where you can find a lot of different service providers. Also, if you need banking, fintech accounts, various things, tax advisory, and for your Estonian company, everything is there. And next week, we are also hosting a general webinar for e-Residency. So this is for someone who's kind of thinking or in the process of setting up, this is the right place where to look for. But I'm going to read out a couple of questions that I think our HR experts will be best to reply. Jose asked, what are the obligations for having employees? Maybe Liisi or Indrek, you could elaborate on that. Obligations for having employees in Estonia.
I would say obligations. Maybe I'm so much into this on everyday basis that I can't even point out what are the obligations: to pay taxes, that you have contract with them, that you pay a salary to them that is more than a minimum wage, and basically that's all the obligations you have, I believe.
I would maybe just add. Sorry, Ernesto, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I agree with Liisi. It's really easy. You need to register them in the portal, pay the salary, is your obligation, pay the social security, and remove from the portal when they are not working with you anymore. Easy.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add to this. I guess we will have to get into a little bit more specifics to kind of understand, what exactly do you mean, but I would maybe just say that it's basic, that you kind of treat them with respect and don't discriminate. Some things like that. It can end up in a dispute, maybe in court, if you kind of don't act humane, I guess you can say. I mean, you don't have to do anything special, just kind of be humane, I would say.
There's a question from Surbri. I am from India and I want to build a whole team in Estonia. What will be the end-to-end process? I would say number one is that you need a company. If you're an e-resident, so anyone who will be maybe director or shareholder of the Estonian company, of course, they should have e-residency. So if you have a company already there, then you can actually hire any moment. As I think my colleagues mentioned here also, that Avocado has a lot of contracts, for example, available, employment contracts. But I would say that maybe consulting with some HR company like CV or Brandem, it was a really smart idea, because they can really give you a better oversight of what you need, what kind of roles you might need, and again, investing, I think, in also in the hiring process a little bit. It makes a lot of sense because you get the best people from that end. So I'd say very easy from that end. And also, if your company is a startup in Estonia, so if you have scalable business model, you have a minimum viable product, and your company is sort of tech related, you can apply for startup status, and you can also move employees from outside Schengen area to Estonia quite easily. So you can move part of your team from outside Schengen quite easily if it's a startup. Liisi, you wanted to?
Yes, sorry. I would just like to add that when hiring a whole team and you don't have a known company here yet, then definitely to hire the best talent, it's important the employer marketing part as well. Even if it's only a picture of you, let's say, who will be the future manager, so that people would actually understand that this is a legit company and that you are actually serious. So this is also the part to keep in mind.
I would totally agree with Liisi. I've been a part of a couple of companies, helping start some of hiring processes for foreign companies in Estonia. And a couple of times the project maybe didn't go as smoothly in the beginning because it was kind of not thought through, the whole thing. So employer branding is important to kind of show who you are, because people will look you up and look up the company and see what you're doing. So you need to have some kind of a presence to show who you are, really, because they need to know, especially if the name, for example, isn't familiar, they will look up definitely and kind of do some background work to see who you really are.
Yeah, because Estonia is actually so small comparing to the other countries in the world that the community here is really, really tight and close. So the word of mouth is really, really quickly to pass, and this is one thing to keep in mind. Yeah, everybody knows everyone basically.
So Ted has had his hand up. Let's try to see if that works. Ted, would you like to? ask a question live, please?
Yeah, so that would be lovely. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, I want to ask something regarding what I think it's Liisi. She already mentioned about checking the e-Residency workspace, which I didn't know about, regarding banking details and setting up a bank account. But she answered that question anyway. So the other question that I had is it mandatory to hire Estonians when I open my company in Estonia?
I'll quickly respond to this. So first of all, a bank account or a fintech account. So if you're on e-residency marketplace, there's a lot of options. So most e-residents start off with a sort of fintech company like Revolut or Wise or something like this. That's very easy to create online and do it internationally. If you have a little bit more Estonia connection, so if you already have an employee, for example, then all the traditional banks become very easily. Otherwise, they sometimes ask a lot of questions. They want to really understand your business model very deeply before they would give a traditional bank account. But I would say most e-residents start with an online bank that you can check on a marketplace. And secondly, you're definitely not required to have any employee or a local director from Estonian perspective. This is just sometimes helpful for setups where the founder lives, let's say in a lot of Western European countries where it's very stringent tax laws and their own country might want to tax their company if they don't have anyone or anything in Estonia in some cases. So that's not to be confused. You're not required to have Estonian employees, but if you want to grow, that might be a good option for some founders. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
There is also a question about handling a team remotely. Who could help manage a remote team? Liisi, Indrek.
Manage a remote team. Good question. Good question. Not even sure if this is something. Well, of course, we can always hire a person or help you hire a person who can help you manage this team. So you can, of course, we can, speak. You can speak to me or Liisi, for example, and we can probably help you kind of map out this person and maybe kind of give you an idea like what it takes to kind of get this person on board. So probably you would need to hire someone.
Yeah, or the other opportunity, if you're a great manager yourself and you want to start up a team here in Estonia, you just come here, fly in for a couple of first months, you establish it here, and then you will make it possible handling over the computers as well, or the digital parts.
Thomas has a question about what are the usual hiring models, exclusive contractors to the LSE, employees of the Estonian LSE, part-time as a sort of physical person or freelancer, hiring from anywhere in the world. So I would say if I look at e-resident companies, I mean, a lot of them usually hire sort of, let's say, freelancers. That's the first thing that they do. Of course, it's an easy thing to collaborate with. We also have companies like Deal on the marketplace who can hire sort of employees on record, of course, because often you don't need maybe all your staff, all your people in Estonia, of course, you don't need to do that. But in Estonia, of course, it would be under Estonian employment law and Estonian contracts. So, and as we mentioned, this is quite a flexible system. If you want to hire for the Estonian company in Estonia, it's as I said, also if you need to let people go, it's not very difficult. And again, all the payrolling is online. So this is something that we at e-Residency try to make it easier for you. I hope that this sort of answers your question more or less. There was a question about, I think it was Indrek, you did a survey that's about employee motivation. Maybe you can tell a little bit more about it. And it was a question also that how many people participated there.
So this survey was actually conducted in Q1 of this year. So over 15,000, I think close to 16,000 people answered in this survey. So besides motivation, there was different topics as well, like what are they expecting salary-wise, for example, if they are expecting if their salary is increased or not, and if this is something that maybe the employers are looking to do, or so they kind of it was not only about employee motivation and satisfaction, but it was just one of the questions that we had, and I think I wanted to just include this one. But it was close to 16,000 people, and it was just I think it ended in the end of February, if I remember correctly. So not too old.
There was also a question to Brandem that can you get vendors to sell in Europe, sort of a US, Europe, Latin America, and international trade? I think this is maybe more an e-residency question, I believe. So absolutely, a lot of e-resident companies that use sell to all over the world, or also sell to EU market in particular. So I think you definitely have these ways open for you. Indrek, Liisi, do you want to take some of the questions or comments that have been? Do you want to react maybe live? Also, what I want to mention is that there was a point in the chat as well about actually someone sharing their experience of having hired in Estonia. So this is something that please also share. And if you have done hires in Estonia, tell us how it was like and how it worked. And at e-Residency, of course, we want to build a kind of ecosystem that you have all the support that is there. So also later on, if some of you choose to hire in Estonia, maybe you will succeed, you'll find everything you need. Please tell us that it did work out. If you have this sort of blocks that stop you, that's also really valuable for us to learn from. So please share your experiences with us.
So I do see a question here from Antonia. She's asking, what is the minimum employment duration when maybe somebody is dissatisfied? Pretty much, and you're asking if you could let the employee go after 1 or 2 days. Well, yeah, there's a probationary period in Estonia. I think it's pretty much by law that for 4 months you can let go of this person if, for some reason or another, the fit is not right, and you don't have any obligations because of this.
Well, sorry to interrupt. You have the obligation of notice of 14 days.
Well, yeah, okay. So sorry about that. Yes. So you have to notify though. Yeah, not just kind of, yeah, the door is there, right? So you do have to notify. But other than that, it's quite simple.
Also, the next question after this Antonia's question was, as an e-resident company, can I hire a foreign candidate and relocate them to Estonia if the job function is here? Mats, maybe you can help me out, but I believe that it's absolutely okay. Shouldn't be any problem with that.
Yes, I mean, the thing is, you can easily, first of all, anyone who's from EU member state, also from United States, you can move basically automatically. Then you can move also developers, anyone who's a web developer, super easily without any difficulty. Then if you are a startup, then you can also pretty much move any employee to Estonia. But other than that, there is this requirement of a minimum salary, I think, of a high sort of expert, let's say, and that is around 3,000 euros. It's a little bit more at the moment, but we will probably, I cannot promise you, but we will at some point also look at the kind of relocation part maybe separately in the future. So if you have questions on this, I would say Move My Talent is the right place, and also Work in Estonia. So these are 2 places if you want to relocate people to Estonia from abroad that you can reach out to. There was a point from Jesper who said that he is looking for AWS project manager and also some sort of specific roles in Estonia potentially. So he's going to come to Estonia soon. So Jesper, maybe you can then reach out to Liisi or Indrek. They can help you further on this one. Other question.
I believe we covered almost every question we had here when I'm going through them.
And maybe there is some still in the chat part. We can quickly have a look. But other than that, I think it's been a really, really productive webinar. I hope it won't be the last one in terms of in the topic of HR, because there clearly is an interest. And we see also that the resident companies that do hire in Estonia, they also grow the fastest. So really, really would like to support your growth and see you grow with us. Thank you, Jesper, also for sharing your details. Please, anyone, you can reach out to me if you have further questions on HR topics. On the offers that we have from our partners, please feel free to use them, but also with a clear site to also maybe use the company services, because that's how we can handle them, and then also we can grow them and get you more and better offers in the future. But my warm thanks to our panelists, Liisi and Indrek and Ernesto, who was here before. Really, really productive and interesting discussion today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much from our side as well. Have a good evening.
Good evening, everyone. And we will share you also the recording and all the follow-up materials by email. So we'll be in touch. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.